Yes.
Last night's skating debate is being called the worst presidential debate in American history. How the debate commission is changing the format to avoid a repeat of last night's performance.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
There has been a net drop in both active cases and students in quarantine. Good evening, I'm Ryan Baker.
And I'm Oscar Offerman. The university is reporting 8 new active cases. That's down from 11 last week. The university is also reporting 119 students in quarantine, down from 145. Citrus TV reporter Greg Bradbury joins us now with an update. Greg, what can you tell us?
SU has been able to keep the positivity rate low with the help of pre-arrival testing and also continued pool testing this semester. However, starting this week, SU is adding a new way to test students. It's called freedom from disease sampling, and they're hoping it helps keep the cases low as we head into flu season.
Where we know that we may have missed some of the virus, and we know that the virus can come into the bubble because we're not completely isolated on an island.
Falk College's public health professor David Larson has been working with the university to formulate SU's COVID-19 response. The new sampling test works as a checks and balances system to the university's wastewater testing.
And the sample's designed to where we can say with 95% confidence that coronavirus is gone at that moment within that dormitory. This matches up then with our wastewater data, where a non-detection at a dormitory, I love getting those zeros because we're confident that there's not transmission within that dormitory.
SU will also be adding 2 more rounds of pool testing. As flu season approaches, Larson says students have to continue to be careful.
Yeah, and so influenza plus COVID-19 at the same time, clinically is likely to be pretty rough. Right?
Today, SU saying the flu shot is now going to be mandatory for all students, and they can get them for no cost at the Barnes Center and other campus locations. Ahead to the spring, Larson says students can likely expect the same precautions SU took getting here for the fall semester to take place in the spring. And yes, for students who live in hot states, that includes the 14-day quarantine. Ryan and Oscar, back to you guys.
Thanks, Greg. The testing of wastewater is a part of Central New York's coronavirus testing response. Wastewater is processed and tested for COVID-19. Citrus TV spoke with an employee at a water processing plant to explain the process behind the testing.
It collects a sample over a 24-hour period. It actually collects 96 samples, and it kind of puts them together to make one giant sample. And the reason we do that is it's because it's the most representative of how people are using the system.
And Syracuse University has been named one of the worst colleges for free speech according to a new College Pulse survey. SU ranks 51 out of 55. Students from some of the nation's largest college campuses participated in the survey. The survey evaluated campus environments for an open discussion of controversial issues.
Over 60% of SU students who participated said there are times they feel they can't express their opinions. They said they worry how other students, professors, and the administration will react.
And while many classes are online this semester, SU is looking to hold a majority of spring courses in person. College deans will have until mid-October to schedule courses and determine what format, in-person or hybrid, or online, their instructors will follow.
By doing this, the university hopes to avoid last-minute class format adjustments that occurred at the start of this semester. Instructors will still be required to provide an online version of the course for international and remote students, as well as for students with health concerns. Now, we were treated to some gorgeous weather over the weekend, but temperatures have dropped over the last few days.
That's right, Oscar. Weather anchor Ashley Winchowski is in studio to tell us if this cooler weather is sticking around for good. Ashley?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, taking a look outside right now, it's pretty quiet. We have those partly cloudy skies. It's about 64 degrees, but it is a little blustery outside right now. We're getting a taste of that fall wind that is so famous in Syracuse. We have about 12-mile-an-hour winds coming from the southwest, so nothing too severe, but definitely a little breezier than we've seen so far. And looking ahead to tonight, it's going to be overcast. There is a chance of some precipitation in the forecast. We have about a 40% chance of rain at 9 p.m. and those temperatures are going to be hovering in the mid-50s, around 56 degrees. I'll be back with all that and more later in the show.
New at 6, the deadline for the 2020 U.S. Census is just days away, and the Census Bureau is rushing to ensure everyone is counted. The census count determines how much money each state and county gets. The pandemic strain on Onondaga County budget makes an accurate count more important than ever. Citrus TV reporter Tom Russo tells us how the U.S. Census Bureau is adapting to COVID-19.
As we come down to the wire for the 2020 census, there is certainly a lot at stake. Just ask Jeff Beller, the Census Bureau's New York Regional Director.
Yeah, there's kind of two groupings we talk about when we talk about the importance of the census and really what it means to communities. So we talk about representation. The other group is really the hundreds of billions of dollars of federal funding.
That money funds schools, hospitals, infrastructure improvement, as well as many public programs, but it needs everyone to be counted to be allocated properly.
Let's say you have a school of 100 kids in your neighborhood, and in the 2020 census, only 80 of those kids get counted. For the next 10 years, that school is going to receive 80% of the funding it deserves.
Now, if you haven't filled out the census yet, it's not too late. You can still call it in on your phone, fill it out online, and yes, still fill out a paper ballot. And while New York has been one of the best in terms of response at 98.4%, Beller hopes for more.
Historically, we've tried to get to at least 99%, and then what we do is something we call imputation for the remainder.
That imputation is basically a computer model predicting where the last 1% is, which will be the only option left in 6 days. Now, if you are going to mail in a paper ballot, you have to get it to a post office like this one today, because if you don't, Beller says it will probably not arrive at the Census Bureau in time to be counted. From the Marshall Square Mall.
Thanks so much, Tom.
And an update on COVID-19 across New York State today. At least 20 zip codes across the state are now COVID-19 hotspots with positivity rates above 10%. Governor Andrew Cuomo said that growing COVID-19 clusters in some Jewish Orthodox communities could spread to others. Cuomo is making an action plan with community leaders.
I think it's fair to say the leaders of the community understand, and they're going to take action. And we're going to come up with an action plan.
The governor also criticized some local governments for failing to enforce masks, gathering limits, and other public health guidelines.
The local government's failure to enforce the law has exacerbated this problem.
And New York City restaurants are opening up for indoor dining for the first time since the start of the pandemic. Restaurants are only allowed to fill up to 25% capacity. Customers and restaurants have to follow several rules aimed at preventing the virus outbreak. Temperature checks at the door, socially distanced tables, and each customer must share their contact info. Staff will also wear masks and other PPE. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says it's important for New York to follow these guidelines.
Look, if we see the kinds of violations that create problems, like employees not wearing a mask or a violation of the 25% limit, those are the kinds of things that will lead to immediate summonses.
Potential COVID-19 exposure in Onondaga County. The Department of Health says a person with COVID-19 went to Tim's Pumpkin Patch in Marcellus this Saturday. This person took a hayride at 5 p.m. and may have spread the virus to others there. The Department of Health is conducting contact tracing, and anyone who believes they may have been exposed should check for symptoms and get tested.
This past weekend, a wedding was held in a central New York park with more than 100 people present. This violates the 50-person state limit for large events, which the organizers claim to not have known about. However, Syracuse police have decided not to pursue charges against the wedding organizers. This decision was made with the intent to educate and inform residents about the pandemic. And some New Yorkers are receiving the wrong absentee ballots. Election officials confirmed the errors on Tuesday. Now the New York Board of Elections is working to get ballots with the correct names and addresses to voters. The BOE is blaming their contract vendors for the mistake. Officials promise that the correct ballots will arrive well before Election Day.
Governor Cuomo recently issued new guidelines for Uber and taxi travel to New York. To make travel safer for riders and drivers, everyone in the Uber must wear a mask and drivers should roll down the windows if they can. Cars must also disinfect between shifts and after every trip if they cannot provide hand sanitizer. Cuomo also suggested collecting rider information for contact tracing.
Coming up after the break, presidential debates may see some significant changes. We'll recap last night's chaotic debate and tell you why the next debate might be different.
And new details emerging from the Breonna Taylor case as the release of the grand jury recordings get delayed. Stay with us.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The Presidential Debate Commission is considering changes to future debate formats after last night's chaotic debate. In a display of bitter exchanges and name-calling, even moderator Chris Wallace couldn't contain the candidates.
The two sparred over the pandemic, the economy, and their political records. But one moment that was raising eyebrows, President Trump's failing to condemn white supremacists.
Specifically,
but
do it. Well, go
ahead, I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
The Kentucky Attorney General is trying to delay the release of confidential grand jury recordings from the Breonna Taylor case.
The audio recordings were supposed to be released today, now according to Kentucky's AG's office. The recordings will be released Friday.
The AG's office claims the delay is necessary so they can redact witness names, addresses, and other personal records.
A college student in North Carolina passed away Monday due to neurological complications related to COVID-19. Chad Dorrell, a sophomore at Appalachian State, was living off campus when he developed flu-like symptoms.
After testing positive for COVID-19, Dorrell quarantined for 10 days and returned to his house where he began experiencing neurological problems. His family described him as a healthy teenager who loved to run. And the latest coming out of the Vatican, European anti-money laundering evaluators began visiting the Holy See today. The Council of Europe's Moneyval team will be checking to see if the Vatican has been compliant with international norms to fight money laundering and terror financing.
The growing scandal has already caused half a dozen people to lose their jobs. Moneyval has historically given the Vatican mixed reviews. As fighting between Armenia and Azerbaijan continues, Armenia is accusing Azerbaijan of using long-range artillery. Fighting began on Sunday in the remote region of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Dozens of people have died so far in a conflict that could attract the attention of Turkey and Russia, the two major powers in the area. Both Azerbaijan and their ally Turkey denied the use of long-range weapons. Residents of Paris were startled this morning by a loud boom in the skies over the city. The noise was caused by a French military plane that broke the sound barrier.
The noise caused tennis players at the French Open to stop play temporarily. The French capital has been on edge in recent days after a knife attack last week outside the offices of Charlie Hebdo. And coming up, our Ashley Wensowski will give our full weather forecast.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Taking a look into tomorrow, we are going to see some partly cloudy skies with a bit of that sun peeking through, a little bit more than we saw today, some less of that cloud cover. We have 10-mile-an-hour winds, so it's still staying a little blustery, making it feel like fall out there finally. At 9 a.m., it is going to be 57 degrees, and then our high of 64 degrees will be coming at 3 p.m. before dropping back down to 62 at around 6 p.m. So definitely some seasonal temperatures, nothing too crazy cold, and it will be a pleasant day. Looking at our current temperatures around the region, pretty standard all around, those temperatures in the mid-60s. It is 64 in Syracuse, 62 over in Rochester, and 62 in Binghamton as well. So not a lot of variation in those temperatures throughout the region. And this is a look at our future radar. You can see we do have some precipitation coming out of the west that is going to clip Syracuse. Things could be worse. It's not really going to storm too badly or anything, but that precipitation may hit us at around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight. And then a look at our wind advisory. We do have a little bit of a high wind advisory peaking at 13 miles an hour today. It's going to be blustery all throughout the night and into tomorrow as well, but nothing too bad. And it's finally making it feel like fall. So things could be worse with that wind and with the chill. All around, it is going to be a pleasant next couple of days. I'll be back later in the forecast with my 5-day forecast as well as wake up weather.
Thanks, Ashley. The 2020 edition of St. Sophia's Greek Cultural Festival will now be a drive-through Greek food festival. Chairman Peter Lemonides did not want to hold off the event any longer, saying instead of having to wait until 2021, we'll be able to satisfy them with this takeout service.
Customers will be able to order and enjoy their favorite food right from the comfort of their own car. The festivities will take place this weekend. Both the ordering and pickup will be on-site only.
Coming up, sports anchor Olivia Conti talks tennis and why Serena Williams might not be on the clay this year at the French Open. Coming up after the break.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Syracuse football is finally in the win column. Sean Tucker and Trill Williams helped the Orange get there. Both earned ACC Player of the Week honors, Tucker at running back and Williams at defensive back. And Tucker can say he's done something that no other Syracuse athlete will ever do: score the first points in the newly renovated Carrier Dome. The freshman scored 2 touchdowns in the 37-20 win, rushing for 117 yards on 24 carries. Williams came up big on defense with an interception in the first quarter that led to SU's second touchdown of the game. And oh yeah, fellow defenseman Jahad Carter also picked off Yellow Jackets QB Jeff Sims, and then he lateraled it back to Williams on the run, who ran it 43 yards for a TD. Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole is really good in the playoffs. Almost scary good. He struck out 13 in last night's 12-3 win over the Indians, and that's a Pinstripes record. It's the most strikeouts ever by a starter in his postseason debut with the Yankees, and this is the Bombers' 57th postseason appearance. But that wasn't the only record that Cole set last night. He also becomes the first pitcher in postseason history with 3 career starts of 12 or more Ks. The first time was in 2018 when he struck out 12 against, guess who, the Indians. Then he did it again in 2019, this time against the Rays, 15 strikeouts, and now 13 in 2020. Cole came into the league in 2013 with the Pirates, and in a typical season, which is not this season, he averages 238 strikeouts. Serena Williams is still seeking her 24th Grand Slam title. She lost in the semifinals against Victoria Azarenka in the U.S. Open earlier this month, and Roland Garros was supposed to be her moment. She beat Christiane 7-6, 6-0 in round 1 on Monday. Svetlana Pironkova was on the docket today, but Serena didn't make it past the warm-ups.
After I warmed up, and it was a very short warm-up, and then afterwards I talked to my coach, and I was like, what do you think? You know, what are your thoughts with this? So we kind of both thought about it, and we really realized that it more than likely wasn't the best.
Williams injured her Achilles during the U.S. Open, and it flared up towards the end of her opening match in Paris. She anticipates that it'll take 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and she says that it's unlikely she'll play another tournament this year. The NBA Finals tip off tonight with the Heat taking on the Lakers. It's the first time LeBron James faces off with his old team for a championship. LA has been a title favorite since the beginning of the season, but Miami wasn't on anyone's radar. It's Jimmy Butler's first time in the finals in his 8-year career. He's been averaging just under 21 points this postseason, second on Miami to Goran Dragic. And of course, LeBron is LeBron, putting up monster numbers across the board and leading the Lakers in assists. Tip-off is at 9 p.m. tonight.
Thanks, Olivia. And coming up after the break, it's International Podcast Day. Find out our favorite podcasts after the break.
That's right, Oscar. Stay with us.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
And I'm back with my 5-day forecast for this week. So looking ahead to tomorrow, again, those blustery winds out there, but it is going to be partly sunny and 65 degrees, so still quite warm. Maybe a light jacket, but no need for any big coats yet early in the week. On Friday, we are going to see some scattered showers, a little bit rainy. It is going to be 61 degrees. And on Saturday, we're going to have some overcast skies. Those temperatures dipping down to 57 degrees. And then on Sunday, coming back partly cloudy. Again, those temperatures in the lower 60s, which is always nice to see when it gets into October. We're at 62 degrees. And then Monday, we are back with some scattered showers, again at around 59 degrees. So a little bit more rain than we're used to seeing, but nothing too bad. Definitely very seasonal. And then moving up to our wake up forecast, it is going to be 57 degrees and mostly sunny tomorrow when you wake up. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ashley. Now here's a holiday all broadcasters can celebrate. Today is International Podcast Day. This is the 6th annual celebration.
The celebration extends to shows, producers, and artists from countries around the globe. Now, Oscar, you know my favorite podcast personally is ID10T with comedian Chris Hardwick. He always has my favorite actors and comedians on the show.
Well, that's all the time we have for Live at 6 tonight. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check us out on our website at CitrusTV.com.
New on Instagram, we're keeping you updated 6 days a week with the Citrus TV tap. Be sure to tune in. I'm Ryan Baker.
And I'm Oscar Offerman. Have a great night, Syracuse.